Eu sinto amor quando a saudade aperta.
Oh no! My ball python will not eat! What should I do? Please tell me what to do! So, your ball python is not eating. What should we do? Well, I got a couple of those in the same situation, so nothing new to the hobby. Maybe you just bought a ball python and probably it's good to leave her alone for a couple days in her new environment. Just give her some rest, couple days, maybe a couple weeks. Some of them take a little bit more time. Just make sure that you have the proper husbandry conditions to make your ball python feel secure. And I mean hides, temperature, moisture, substrate. Maybe your ball python moved from the store or from the quarantine or from some other terrarium into the tub or some other place, and the animal needs to readjust to the new environment. That is common for them to not feel used to, not feel safe on their new house, on their new terrarium or tub, and do not eat for a while. Take this one for instance. When I got her of around 200 grams, she was not eating frozen thawed. That's what I had. I offered her frozen thawed a couple times. She had no interest in it, so I tried live mice and she took it. I gave her a couple meals of live mice. She ate fantastically, and then I changed it to frozen thawed by the intermediate step of feeding her freshly killed mice. She ate the freshly killed mice, and for a couple times, I believe, I have to check my records, and then she changed immediately to frozen thawed. So that was a good trick. Let's go over some other parameters that you can manipulate into getting your little snake friend getting used to it. As I just mentioned, we can feed them frozen thawed, live rodents, or freshly killed. We can feed them gerbils, African soft fur rats, we can feed them rats, we can feed them mice. The sizes of the prey, they can go small prey, medium prey, or large prey, relatively to the size of your ball python. I've heard that they can also be picky regarding the color of the prey. I've tried white mice, black mice, I've tried white rats, gray rats or spotted rats, and black rats, and I still have a couple of known feeders that are proving to be really stubborn to get them to eat. As most of us probably do, we get home from work and we feed our snakes in the evening, as a nocturnal species that they are. I have tried to feed one of them, the Pastel Leopard head clown. She only took one meal up until now, and it was during the day. So that's another variant. We can do day feed and night feed. I've also tried with the little HG Woma to do assist feed. She was really tiny, and well, she had a couple hundred grams. In the beginning she was not eating. I tried assist feeding, but it was very stressful for the snake, and yes, the animal was not on a life-threatening situation. I did not insist on that. She didn't let me do assist feed, so I didn't do it. With the hidden HG Woma, I also tried the split head technique. I cracked the skull of the little mouse and tried to feed it to her, see if that would trigger a stronger feed response, having the not just the scent of the mouse, but also the blood and the worms and the blood scent. Well, that didn't work with me. Doesn't mean it won't work with you guys. Just on this specific case with this little snake, didn't prove to be. I also saw the cup feeding technique, where you put the prey and the snake in a cup and close it, leave it there for a while. As ball pythons tend to feed in the safety of their burrow, I believe that this technique is more appropriate for other types of snakes like colubrids. I did not attempt the tub feeding technique. I've also been gathering some information that some people feed with the lights out. I have my ball pythons in the living room, and at nighttime I have dim lights, so that kind of works. Not having too much light in your room, so they don't think it's daytime, they don't feel overexposed. That's I believe it's important for the animals' well-being. What else can we do to try and get our ball pythons to eat? Maybe you have them on different substrate that they were used to in the store, or when they came from the breeder that you purchased your ball python from. So I contacted the breeders, I asked them what they had. Some of them had a different substrate. I tried a couple different things, and now I'm on the coconut husk, and it's, I believe, fairly good. It's not the Coco Blocks or the Repti Chip, it's the local Repti Zoo brand that I have here, but it might take a little while for the ball python to adjust to the new substrate. Also, I've been playing with other parameters. I've been changing the temperatures. I increased the temperature a degree or two. I lowered the temperature a degree or two from the initial point that I had set previously. I've also been adjusting moisture, trying to keep it around 50-60%. I've been keeping it on the higher moisture, 70-80, because they went through a phase of shedding, a lot of them. And maybe with one of them, the Pastel Leopard head clown, I should try and give her a lower moisture content to see if that's what she feels good with. I'll try that. So we can change the parameters: temperature, moisture, substrate. I try to give her more hides, put some foliage in there. One of the snakes was not eating this one, the Pastel Leopard, and I've done the same to the HG Woma. When I changed her to the wood terrarium, I put a t-shirt, a black t-shirt, over the glass of the terrarium. Just like 4/5 of the glass are covered with the t-shirt, just a little bit so they can get some light, because the terrarium is positioned on my living room and I'm walking back and forth. I'm scaring the snake, I'm maybe not making her feel very secure. So pretty much I try to hide her away. Besides the hides she has inside, I try to hide her away even more. In this hobby, when our ball pythons do not want to eat, we need to have patience. Yes, my friends, we need to have a lot of patience. Maybe you want to resort to other more drastic techniques. Maybe you, like me, pray to the gods of odds. Oh, and I do pray to the gods of odds a lot. Oh, those odd gods, they're not kind on us, not always. Maybe you want to do satanic rituals and do live sacrifices to your snakes. Maybe we should just talk to the union leader, because the ball python is going on a hunger strike, so the ball python must have a union leader, and we should make him or her an offer that they cannot refuse. And try to get the union to break their hunger strike and get the ball pythons to eat. No, not a good idea. Cross this one off the list. Another thing that I have tried recently is to get my female mating with the male. I tried to put the lesser spot nose head clown together with the Pastel Leopard head clown female, but as we are in June, this is the peak of the summer, it's not breeding season. I did it for 2 or 3 times. I did not register any change of behavior in terms of the freaking ball python wanting to start eating. The male is eating very well, the female is not. If they are not eating now, it's because something is not up to their standard. In resume, do your research, have patience, have a ton of patience, and observe the behavior of your snakes, and then think what you need to do to change the husbandry conditions to get your ball pythons into eating. Please do not make a whole lot of changes at the same time. Then you don't know if you're stressing the animal more or what did in fact work. Just do little baby steps one at a time. Change the substrate, change the temperature, increase the temperature a degree. Do not increase the temperature 3 or 4 degrees on the hot spot all at once. Just do little baby steps, or lower the temperature a degree. Increase the moisture a little bit from 50 to 70%, or reduce it to 40-30%. See what works. Change the hide. Get a smaller hide so that the ball python feels more cozy. Get a hide on the cold spot and one on the warm spot. Just do little changes on the husbandry. You can add foliage. You can be creative. Do your research. Maybe it is just a matter of not handling your ball python for a couple of weeks. Leave her be, let her stay in the hide, in the tub or in the terrarium, just to feel safe and secure. In any case, you can also email the breeder. Ask the previous owner or the breeder or at the store what were the conditions, what were the temperatures, the substrate, the moisture, were they eating during the day, what were they eating. Just ask those questions to the breeder of the snake and try to replicate the same conditions. Maybe that will help on the feeding response of your ball python. Try and give your ball pythons a bath in the tub. All that wiggling around with their tail, just trying to swim, maybe that will cause a positive effect on them releasing their bowels, and they can start feeding in the next week. I believe that worked for me. Regarding prey items, maybe your ball python only wants to eat live prey. Go to freshly killed prey and then try changing that way into frozen thawed if it is for your better convenience. Go for a different prey size. If it is too big, try a smaller one. Go from large to medium or even to smaller prey size. Regarding types of prey, there are mice, there are rats, there are gerbils, African soft furs, so you just need to figure out which kind of prey your ball python prefers. As I have mentioned before, maybe it's in the color of the prey. If they do not want to eat white, try a black mouse or one of those grayish rats. Try changing the color. Who knows? I did not try cup feeding and I did not try the tuna scent feeding. I tried with the little HG Woma the split head technique. That didn't work as well, but you have a whole range of techniques that you can try. Just research on that. Maybe it's a frozen thawed, rub it on the fur of a live mouse or of a live rat. That's fairly the equivalent to the freshly killed. I don't know. You also need to know what is the best time to feed your snakes. Is it during the day, morning or late afternoon, or during the night after the sun sets? Try feeding at night with the lights out or with very dim light, so you don't stress your animals and they still think it's nighttime and they strike that prey. If you are dealing with hatchlings or with a snake that is in danger of life, she's really skinny, try assist feeding as a last resort, and I emphasize this, as a last resort, try force feed. If you are not very confident on how to do it, request the assistance of someone else who has better experience on force feeding. If your female ball python is not eating, try and pair her with a male. See if that triggers a feeding response from the female. has some crazy ideas, maybe try to talk to your snake in different languages. Oh, je t'aime, mon amour. Ah, por favor, cariño, come los ratones, por favor. I don't know if that works, I don't think so. Just as those other theories that I mentioned, talk to the union leader and make him an offer he cannot refuse. Just pray to the gods of odds to try and get your ball python into eating, or to whichever god you believe in, depends on your religious persuasion. But enough with these crazy ideas. Maybe your female ball python is going through the 1000 gram wall. Maybe that's the case. Maybe she's starting to develop follicles, and I don't know if the process is hurtful for them and she's going for a couple weeks or a couple months without eating. In either way, you can always try to change the tub position in your rack system, move it a little bit higher, a little bit lower, and try to fine-tune that ideal temperature to get a feeding response from your ball python. Last but not least, try talking to other breeders or other reptile hobbyists and discuss some ideas of what they have been doing, the challenges they've been going through, how they tackle those issues. And it's always good to have the opinion of another mate. And pretty much that's it. So see you guys on the next video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.